Hey everyone, NWA Prepper here. Whoa, earthquake. So today I was asked a question from from my website or my nwaprepper.com, and the name is irrelevant, mostly because I didn't bring my printout, so I forgot who it was. But they said that they'd like to learn more on storing food. Was the first portion of it, and where to find cheap stuff. And so I wanted to take just a little bit and because I've done videos on this before, but that doesn't, as much as I would like everyone to go back to the beginning, I don't expect that. So because I don't like to do that. So I want to address the first thing is ways to store food. So it depends on what kind of food that you're talking about. The primary way that I store food, to be honest with you, is just on a shelf in the house with what we already buy at the grocery store. So if we're getting spaghetti, which is a pretty favorite meal at my house, we go buy, a pound of noodles, a big jar or a large can of sauce, a package of hamburger meat, and we often like garlic bread with it. So we purchase all that stuff at the same time. Now, even though we have some here, we usually go to the store and pick it up because we can. It's super convenient. I pass 2 grocery stores every day on my way to work. One of them is almost at my work. So the primary way is to buy the regular foods that you buy already. Now that's only good for short-term and mid-term storage in my book. Up to about a year and a half. Some of that stuff goes bad. Now, in the case of the bread, it goes in the freezer. The meat goes in the freezer. And then we usually plan ahead. So we've taken meat out of the freezer already. And so we just toss the other one in the back. And we try to rotate the best we can. It doesn't always work, particularly on big things like turkey breasts and stuff. But we utilize our freezer. And we try to buy, when we go, like Thursday night is spaghetti night, for instance. And when we go to the store, we'll try to buy 2 pounds of noodles. Unless they're on sale, then we buy 3 or 4 if we can. And then, or 2 things, we try to double up. Now we can't do that on the meat because the meat is usually the most costly part of the whole meal. So we have to be a little more intentional on when we stock up on meat for the freezer. I do, however, buy every now and then a can of ground beef, or about every 3 months, 3.5, 4 months, 3 to 4 months, I buy a can of freeze-dried beef or turkey, ground beef or ground turkey, in the long-term storage foods from Thrive Foods. And I put that away. But number one way we do it is we buy what we already eat from the grocery store. We just buy 2 cans of green beans or 2 cans of whatever, double the noodles or, whatever we're going to do. And that's the best way for short-term and mid-term stuff. Pop-Tarts will keep for about a year, crackers for about a year, maybe a little more. It just depends on what the product is. And then I have my mid-term stuff, which is things that will store longer than a year and a half or 2 years, usually between 2 years and 5 or 6 years, which are things like military rations or food that's, backpacking food or things that's packaged for for 5 years. And then my long-term storage is freeze-dried foods, Thrive Foods, Mountain House, Richmore. There's a bunch of them. And things that I can Mylar and bucket, such as rice and beans and pasta and wheat, are some of the main things that I do. Sugar and salt. Those things that go in either 2-gallon or 5-gallon buckets with Mylar. I don't Mylar salt, actually, and I don't Mylar wheat unless I'm going to put it somewhere damp. But a lot of people do. And so those are the answers to that. And I can get way more in depth. I mean, you could talk about for a month, 3 videos a week on just food storage and how to store it. But short answer is, I buy what we eat already, and we've converted one of our bathrooms and one of our closets to an emergency pantry in our home, and then we rotate through that stuff. Our longer term stuff, our buckets and our long-term food, go in one of our 3 getaways, distributed pretty equally actually, because we don't know which one we're going to. And as far as where do I get cheap stuff, I never stop shopping for it. I never stop. Every time I go in a store that has a clearance section, I go to the clearance section. Every time I go to a store that it has like a truckload sale, I go see what's there. I look in the newspaper for coupons. I watch for online ads. I look before I go to a store. I look and see what's on sale at that store. And there'll be times that my whole prepping budget, which is not much, it's $20 a week. Well, $20 a payday, and a goal of $20 a week. Sometimes I can't do the goal, but I always do the budget. And you just got to keep your eyes open. You got to make a plan. You got to know that every 3 months this store rotates. Something in this aisle goes on sale for 40% off, or buy one get one free, or whatever. And you just got to plan and be mindful of that. But always be looking. I always keep that extra 20 in my wallet. That is the prepping budget. And if I use it for, I find a great deal on canned corn, and I buy a bunch of corn. If I buy $20 worth of corn, then my next prepping budget, that budget has to replace the money in my wallet. So I may not do something else until I can replenish that. But I never stop looking. And I look in every store I go to. I take a couple minutes and I look for prepping stuff. That's it. That's my secret is I don't give up. I don't stop looking for something. I look everywhere I go, because you never know what a store's going to have that's a special buy, or a bulk deal for them, or something they don't usually carry that they'll have. You just have to be resilient and keep your eyes open. So I hope that answers your question. I put a lot of thought into it. I was going to answer it 100 different ways, but I thought this would be the best way. I know this will lead people into more questions and conversations, and I have pink fingers from slicing strawberries. But leave your comments down below, your questions, and we'll see where we can go with this. So let's get ready.